puts his man in motion. Looks that way, wants to go deep, and will. Waddle has got it on the run, and he's gone. Jalen Waddle, touchdown. Well, now snap it to Matt Jones on a 2nd and 22. Pump fake, deep ball, man there, got him on the fly. Waddle, there's nobody going to catch him. Jalen Waddle, touchdown.
The freshman Rakestraw is on Waddle this time.
Well protected again. Jones, Waddles gets behind the defenders for another touchdown.
I mean, it's a receiver that I just love in this draft, and that's Jalen Waddle. And I know a lot of people, like I said, people stack these receivers. Chase at 1, Smith at 1. Some people told me Rashad Bateman's there 1. People have even gone outside the box, whether it's Kadarius Toney. Some people have said Kyle Pitts is wide receiver 1. For me, Chase is 1, then Waddle is 2. I absolutely love this kid's game. You can see his track background. He was a sprinter at Houston Episcopal High School in the Houston area. Ran the 100 and the 200. You can see the pace on his routes. He'll give you a second gear. You think you've got it covered, then he'll hit you with a third gear, and it just runs by you. He's got double moves. He's got vertical big play ability. There are games that become scouting lore amongst us in the media that do this, almost year round, it seems. 2019 Alabama LSU is certainly one. Jamar Chase versus Trayvon Diggs. Zach Wilson versus UCF. Justin Fields versus Clemson is one. Jalen Waddle against Missouri is up there as one of the most impressive games I watched from a wide receiver. Obviously, everybody will remember the catch, the post route, where he goes over the top, gets helicoptered. Huge contact at the catch point downfield, but holds on to the football. But watch that red zone fade route out of the slot, where not only is the corner giving him about 6 yards of cushion, the safety's giving about 8 yards of cushion, and he runs right by both of those guys just in a flash. I mean, double moves, vertical stuff. He's a weapon at all levels of the field, dangerous with a football in his hands, obviously has speed to burn. A lot of people have said, look, Tyreek Hill, they've used that comp. It's lofty, but I get it. I understand why people will go there with him. I think he's a tremendous talented wide receiver. He's my wide receiver too. If you could trade out of 6 to 12, pick up a future first rounder and still get wide receiver 2, I think that's a pretty big thing to get. And I would love him. I would love him in any offense. But I think Philadelphia, that'd be fantastic. And look, I'm a Patriots fan. If he slides to 15, I will jump up and down if they draft him. So yeah, Jalen Waddle is my number 1 here.
Well said, man. 100% agree. Jalen Waddle is the Eagles' target. In fact, I would trade up 8, 9 just to ensure to get him, no matter what the cost. He's that playmaker that the Eagles need, and I love that potential with him and Jalen Reagor. Just causing havoc, whether it's in the backfield or down on the sidelines, just everywhere. Just speed kills, man. What about you, Shane?
Yeah, he's my wide receiver 1. With all 3 receivers and Pitts on the board, I would take Waddle, and I wouldn't really think that hard about it. When I did my scouting report write-up for him, I tweeted out that he would instantly be the best receiver the Eagles have had since Terrell Owens. And somebody questioned, like, what about Deshaun Jackson? And I replied, and I was like, that's the tweet. Like, I think I'm that high on him. I mean, he's a guy, you can take the top off the defenses on one play, open things up for your tight end, your running back underneath. The next part of the play, he can work the intermediate parts of the field. He's not just a deep threat. He's not just a manufactured touch guy, but wherever he went, he commanded safety help. And so you get safeties locked in on him, and all of a sudden you can have Jalen Reagor running free. You can get him the ball in jet sweep, screens. You can use him on kick returns if you want to. Like, I'm very, very high on Waddle. If you're not going quarterback at 6, Waddle would have been my guy. So to get him at 12, I would be thrilled.
Yeah.
And I forgot to mention, he's got some chemistry with a guy named Jalen Hurts. I hear he caught a few touchdowns from him back in the day. So,
yeah. And I think, to your point, Shane, about his routes, his best route might be the dig or the over route, where he's working over the middle of the field at the intermediate level. That's when you really see that sort of pace to his route running. Like, there was one, he's had a couple of them. I actually did a video on it, but he had one against Texas A&M where you could literally see the safety he's working against. When Waddle kicks into that second gear, as he starts to get into and out of his break, he's thinking, all right, I get this route matched. I can run with this guy. Then Waddle hits into that third gear and just runs away from this kid. And this safety's like, just dumbfounded. He had no idea that he had that extra gear, but he has that. Double moves, in and ups, getting over the top of the defense. I think he's a home run hitter. On everything from hitches to goes, he could take the distance. Yeah, I would absolutely love him in New England, but if I'm Philadelphia and he's there at 12, I'm running to the podium.
Amen.
And I mean, people want to throw out injury concerns with him because he had the ankle injury, but like, there's a difference in an injury and being injury prone. I mean,
right.
And it's like, well, he's fast and he got hurt, so he's got to be injury prone. He's Deshaun Jackson. I mean, that's not the case. This is a guy, he outweighs Devonta Smith. Everybody that wants to talk about Waddle's injury being injury prone, they're like, Devonta Smith. I'm like, well, he outweighs Devonta Smith and he ran a 4.2 40. So, I mean, what are we talking about here? Now, and he's got room to grow as a route runner. He's not the route runner that Smith is, but he had tremendous growth from 2019 to 2020 in his route running. And so I would love the pick.
Yep. Marky Mark says, agree. Waddle has Tyreek Hill traits in him, bubble screens, jet sweeps, get him in space. Wouldn't that be nice to have a play caller get our guys in space this season?
And what's more helpful for a young quarterback you're trying to develop than a guy that you can just get the football to bubbles and screens and jets, designed, check downs, quick throws to the flat, and let him work after the catch. I mean, it's like ideal. If you can't get a Kyle Pitts or somebody like that, Jalen Waddle would be one heck of a way to help Hurts.
Amen.
Well, and yeah, go ahead. I was gonna say, I've talked about before that, Hurts doesn't like to throw middle of the field. He's not a huge fan of throwing into tight windows. What's a better thing to get him than a guy that's probably one of the best separators in the class? I mean, you can go the jump ball route with Pitts or with Chase, and that's going to be helpful too. But that guy that he knows he can always bounce to, that's going to be wide open, like that's a huge help for a quarterback that sometimes doesn't quite trust his eyes at the first look. But if that first look's wide open, it's easy throw.
Exactly.
Sixers winning! Wow! Oh man, Embiid just posted right. Russell Westbrook. You love the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me get a hand.